Good afternoon, Britain. It's 24 minutes past 1. Now, the Labour Member of Parliament, Rosie Duffield, has hit out at a primary school for posting a picture online of one of their students posing with pro-trans and pride flags.
Not just one, about 20, a whole host. About 20 of them, I'd say. The Labour MP argues these children have no meaningful concept of sexuality or gender identity and should essentially be left alone. Well, is she right?
Well, joining us now is the co-founder of Thoughtful Therapists, James Esses, who supports Rosie Duffield's position, and the LGBTI liberation campaigner, Peter Tatchell, who's for children celebrating Pride. Why don't we start with you, James?
Yes.
What's wrong here?
Well, this image, and there's many more on top of this in a variety of schools up and down the country, but this essentially encapsulates a notion of children being, I'm going to say, ideologically indoctrinated, but more than this, being sexualised at school by their teachers. This goes far beyond acceptance, respect, tolerance of same-sex attraction and age-appropriate sex education. This is teachers pushing their own ideologies, nefarious ideologies, on their pupils.
Peter, do you think this is a benefit to these children?
Well, no primary school is teaching pupils about sex. They teach young people about love and respect for others, other people with different races, different faiths, different sexualities. But it's not about sex, it's about respect for LGBT plus people. And in particular, in this teaching, it's about respect for people of different families. So they teach young people that some kids will have a mum and dad, some will be single parents, some may live in extended families with grandparents or cousins or uncles, and some will live with same-sex parents. But there is absolutely no teaching in any primary school about sex. This we don't know the full details, but I think this particular school was merely attempting to acknowledge that some of the kids in the school will have same-sex parents, and that should be respected, but it's not about sex.
Peter, James, one of the young boys there was holding up a sign saying, "I can't even think straight." That goes beyond just teaching people that people have different families.
Oh, of course it does. I mean, that's the type of sign you might expect to see on a stag or a hen do, not in a primary school classroom. I mean, you know, I fundamentally disagree with Peter. No surprises, though. Peter has previously said that UK schools should teach students about the erotic value of foreplay.
Secondary schools, young people aged 16 and over, not in primary school,
fair enough, Peter,
and not
but
for young kids in secondary school.
The point is that the teaching, the symbolism here is very clearly linked to sex. This school is part of a federation of schools. I posted recently photographs from one of the sister schools in which children are drawing flags representing omnisexuality, asexuality, pansexuality. Those are sex-based terms, and children as young as 5 years old are being exposed to this.
That's very true, isn't it? Pansexuality, that is obviously about sex.
It's about an identity, it's not about sex.
Oh, come on, Peter. Pansexuality, obviously that's about sex.
It's about saying some people may fall in love with someone of the same gender or a different gender. That's all it's about. It's not about sex.
Peter, I refuse to believe that you actually genuinely think that young children this age should be, you know, being handed signs saying, "I can't even think straight," or having the progress flag and learning all about gender identity and whatnot. Is it not a bit much? They are very young.
I agree that some of these slogans may have been inappropriate. It all depends on whether the children understood the issues. But we have to remember that young kids today are becoming aware of their sexuality or gender identity at a very young... Some are becoming aware at a very young age, and those kids need support. And those who have same-sex parents or a trans parent, they need support too, to not feel left out, not feel excluded, not feel marginalised. It's about kindness to pupils in our schools who come from different families and different parents.
James, just because the word sexuality has the word sex within it, that could well mean male, female, rather than intercourse.
Well, as we've just said, terms like pansexuality, omnisexuality relate to the type of person you are sexually attracted to. I'm more concerned by the imposition of gender ideology, this notion suggesting to these impressionable young children that they may have been born in the wrong body. That's what I'm concerned about. And I've spoken to parents from this school who've reached out and said they are extremely concerned by what's going on. They were never informed about this. They were never even asked for their consent for their children to be used in this photograph that was posed online. I mean, the whole thing is a disgrace.
Well, I agree parents should be informed and engaged. It should be a cooperation between teachers, parents and pupils. But I've got to emphasise, a lot of young lesbian, gay, bisexual and trans kids grow up feeling very alienated, very fearful of who they are.
But at this age,
they need reassurance. At
this young age, you're not thinking about who you're sexually attracted to and the like. So I can't see what purpose it serves.
Well, I look back at my own childhood, and at the age of 8, I knew that I liked men. I didn't see it as sex at all. I just thought I would like to be with a man. Lots of young kids have those feelings today.
But is this encouraging children to think about whether they're born in the wrong body or whether they'd be happier as a boy and a girl at such a young age?
No one should be encouraged. No one should be encouraged, but they should be supported if
but
that's
it's sort
the
of
way they
making it
feel.
cool, isn't it? No?
No, it's about giving reassurance to kids who are often very anxious about their sexuality or gender identity. And we know lots of young kids go through a great deal of personal trauma, and some even feel like taking their own lives. We've got to stop that. And it's not about encouraging or promoting, it's about being supportive.
Last word to you, James.
I mean, where to begin? Peter's politicising and weaponising the idea of suicide. This has been debunked. The fact of the matter is these are young children, prepubescent children. We should not be teaching them sex in this way. We should not be suggesting to them that they may have been born in the wrong body and then encouraging them or affirming them down a pathway of irreversible transition. This is completely unprofessional, inappropriate. The government has released guidance saying that schools should not be doing this, and the government needs to do something to clamp down on this before it's too late and more children become harmed off the back of this radical ideology.
Yeah, no children should be harmed. I agree with that.
Well, there we go. A point of consensus, although much disagreement as well. We'll have to leave it there. James says, Peter Tatchell, thank you so much for talking through that contentious issue.
Yes, let us know what you make of it. gbnews.com/your say. But coming